Okay, so I've had my Samsung S22 Ultra for about 2 months now. And with that being said, I absolutely love this device. Like, it is my favorite device I've had in a very long time. So stay tuned because in this video, I'm going to be talking about the pros and the cons when it comes to the S22 Ultra and if I think you should trade in your device to go ahead and pick up one of these. Anyways, let's get right to it. What's happening YouTube? Caesar Rendon here and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. So before we get into the actual review of this phone right here, I just want to say if you're looking for a review with a whole bunch of specs, this is not it. This is just my experience and my pros and cons when it comes to the Samsung S22 Ultra. Anyways, with that being said, my absolute favorite thing and feature about this phone has to be the camera. Why is it the camera? Because this camera can zoom in extremely far and the picture quality of this camera, of the video footage, looks amazing. Now, I usually don't talk about the cameras the very first thing in the review, but when it comes to a smartphone like this, the camera is so good not to talk about it. I'm not over exaggerating. This camera by far is the best camera I have ever had in a smartphone, ever. So with that being said, I'm gonna drop a couple pictures right now. As you can see, the colors are beautiful, they are vibrant. This picture right here specifically is the very first picture I took on this phone. I'm not even using night mode, and you could see how beautiful that pink color looks. You can see the greens are very vibrant, and for me being in a completely dark area except for just those lights, it looks beautiful. Now, when we get to the outside pictures, you can see that the colors are amazing. This picture I literally took today, and it is a rainy day in Chicago, but it captures, the quality is amazing. It still looks like it's a very bright photo, even though outside it was super gloomy. And now here are some pictures I took of downtown Chicago, and let me tell you something, all the colors come out amazing. I do have a review going over the Samsung S22 Ultra and the Galaxy Z Flip 3, going over those two cameras. If you look, it is the same pictures I'm posting now, but the differences between that phone and this phone camera is just phenomenal. Like, it's day and night. With this camera, it also does have a zoom capability of zooming in 100 times. With that being said, the pictures aren't going to be completely clear and completely detailed, but it is just crazy that this phone is capable of doing that. So right now with these pictures, this right here is just the ultra wide shot. And as you can see, I'm going to zoom in, keep zooming in until it's at 100 times. And once it is at 100 times zoom, the photo is crazy. The range that this camera has right here is fantastic. And if you're looking for a phone and you love taking pictures and you love taking videos for Instagram or even just doing vlogs, this phone right here is definitely the phone for you. Anyways, I could go on the whole video just talking about the camera, so let's move on to something else that I absolutely love about this phone, and that is the battery. Now, I may be a little bit biased just because I did come from the Z Flip 3 and the battery on the Z Flip 3 was not good at all. The Z Flip 3 is good for folded, not for battery life. So when I got to this puppy right here, the battery life literally lasted me all day and then some. Depending on how much I use it, which I do use my phone quite a bit, watch a lot of YouTube, go on Instagram all the time, go on Twitter, Facebook, all those good stuff. I don't really edit on my phone too much, but like I said, using this phone, it gives me like a day, maybe a day and a half of battery life, depending on how much I use it, especially if I'm just listening to music all day while working. It really doesn't drain too much, and you do have a lot of battery settings that you could adjust in order to really maximize that battery life, such as the display. Yes, the display is amazing on this phone. You could watch videos in like 1440p. The picture looks super crisp on the display, but if you don't care about all those settings and you just want to get your phone to last as long as possible, you could turn down the battery settings and then your phone will last a lot longer. The battery life on this thing is extremely reliable, so I highly recommend it. Yes, the battery life is amazing, but something else I love about this phone is whenever you charge it, it charges extremely fast. Now, like I said, I did have the Galaxy Z Flip 3. The battery on that one was kind of bad. The time it would take to charge was also kind of bad. So I was shocked whenever I charged this phone right here, and then it charged super duper quick. I mean, extremely fast. So that's something else I love about this phone. Super fast to charge, takes forever for the battery to die. And for the most part, that's all I've noticed. Now, I'm not just gonna sit here and say, I love this, I love this, I love this, without telling you anything bad about this phone. Yes, the camera is amazing. Yes, the battery life is amazing too. But when it comes to this phone, something I still don't like about it is just the curved edges. Now, with last year's model, with the S21 Ultra, yes, the edges were flat. Obviously, they wanted to make this one more of a note compared to the last one, and they did a really good job. However, I still wish that for some reason, these edges weren't curved, because when I don't use a case, I still get some accidental touches from time to time. Yes, there is a setting that can actually take that off. It does work, but just not 100% of the time. Now, besides that, something else I don't like about this phone is just the fact that there's no storage expansion. There's no SD card slot. You can't expand at all unless you have you just transfer your data files to your computer, which, I mean, I guess we're moving that way, but I love the Samsung Note because you were able to put a micro SD card inside of the phone. And I know even some of the phones they're making that are a little bit lower priced are gonna have that option. So I'm not really sure why they didn't include it in the S22 Ultra. I did get the 128 gigabyte version of this phone, and it is not enough. I've only had it for 2 months, and with that being said, I only have like an hour left of video footage because every time I record a video, it counts down from an hour. So if you do get this phone, make sure to get like the 256, 1 terabyte, even 512. It's all up to you. But the 128 gig is not going to be the greatest, especially if you're going to keep this phone for a long time. With that being said, you could just transfer the data files onto your computer, save a little space. That's what I'm gonna have to do. But it's always a pain to do that and keep doing it every couple months. Because if this is already showing me that amount of space in just 2 months, I'm gonna have to keep on doing it. So if you do wanna use this phone for the long run, don't do the 128 gigabyte because I don't think that's gonna be enough storage for you. Now, another thing that I absolutely love about this phone right here that some people don't even utilize or don't even care about is the S Pen. Now, I know a lot of people are biased when it comes to the S Pen. You either love it or you hate it. I use it mainly for notes, and it's super smooth, but I don't use it for any of the air gestures or anything like that. With that being said, when it does come to writing notes, it feels super smooth this time around. Like I said, my last note or phone similar to this one was the S10 Plus, and that one was smooth, but not as smooth as this one right here. And what I love about this S Pen as well is just the fact that it actually grips to your hand. The one on the S10 Plus was super shiny and it looked really slick. However, it was really hard to grip and it was really thin. This one is thicker this time around. I know a couple people have been talking about it not being the same color as the phone. The top is, but honestly, I don't mind it. Just as long as I could grip it good and it doesn't fall out of my hands, I am A-okay. So I do love the S Pen on this phone. Now, the display on this is amazing. The back is amazing just because you can actually grip the phone. It doesn't leave any fingerprints. But with that being said, at the same time, you want to make sure you put a case on this phone just because it is going to be really, really thin, so you don't want to be dropping it. Now, when it comes to the durability of this phone, I have dropped it quite a few times. However, when I do drop it, I do make sure that I have a case on it. This is the Spigen or Spigen case, whatever you call it. I'm not sponsored at all. I just like this case because it was cheap. And unlike most of the cases that I look for on Amazon, these actually have the cutouts to actually punch it in. But I have dropped it see, them cutouts are really nice. I have dropped it a lot though, to be honest. Not too far up, mainly from when I'm texting and accidentally just falls out. And I haven't had any problems. This case has protected it. I dropped it once without the case and there's no chips or anything. The front is still looking amazing. If you look at that glass, there is literally no scuffs, no scratches. It looks really, really good. And I'll do another video, maybe like a 6-month review of this one, where I'm sure I'll probably drop it again. But for day-to-day use, I haven't seen anything wrong with this phone with as many times as I've dropped it. Now, after everything I said in this video, all the pros and a few of the cons, 2 months in, I absolutely love this phone. And I would highly recommend it to anybody who's an Android user looking to switch, or even an iPhone user looking to come to Android. This phone you will not be disappointed with. Just make sure you get the 256 gig or anything higher than the 128, because you need more than 128 gigs. Anyways, let me know what you thought about this phone. Or if you have this phone already and you've experienced something different than me, let me know down in the comments below. Or if I could help in any way, let me know. Or if you have any questions at all, just leave a comment. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.